What is up, bros? Me, Josh, here. In today's episode of How to Ship, we're going over the brand new Royal Navy line that just hit World of Warships. It's the newest line in the game, and it's actually pretty freaking good. And if you've never seen an episode of How to Ship, what I'm doing in this series, and I'm going over every line in World of Warships, going in depth on captain skills, upgrades, playstyle, tricks, whatever I can do to help you guys out, and hopefully have you guys have a better time playing those ships and give you a little bit of knowledge, as much knowledge as I can give you. The Royal Navy line is the newest line to World of Warships, and it is a line that is definitely a late bloomer. And let's kind of look at the line. It starts out very well with the tier 1. The Black Swan is actually a pretty solid ship for year 1 or for tier 1, but it's a tier 1. So you kind of get past that in one game, 2 games, whatever. You get the Weymouth and then you kind of go through. Now, this line has some growing pains for a new player that is the tier through 5. The first ship, in my opinion, that is okay to good is the tier 6. I think that and up are pretty solid ships, but you're going to grind through some pretty mediocre, in my opinion. The Emerald has some times where it's okay, but I really think the tier 2 to tier 5 ships in this line are actually pretty tough to play, especially for new players. Lack of range, mediocre rate of fire, really fragile. I mean, the low tier ships like the tier 3 and the tier 2, you can get citadeled with HE shells from destroyers. That's the hell you're going to go through, but that's just part of the ship line. But once you get to the Leander, the tier 6, and then on to the Fiji like I am, this line's actually really good. Like I said, the Leander, the tier 6, is okay to good. I think I really enjoy the Fiji, and then the Edinburgh, the tier 8, the Neptune, and the Minotaur, in my opinion, are very strong ships, but this line is very fragile. This is the glass cannon of ships. People thought the Russian cruisers were glass cannons. These things are freaking glass cannons, but you have some tricks up your sleeve to hopefully keep you alive a little bit longer, and the play style is a little bit different than everything else. Just imagine always being inside an Atlanta, basically, when you're playing this line. But first, let's dive into modules on this line. Now, guys, I'm going to focus on a tier 10 ship, so no matter what tier you are, just take away those extra slots, and we'll kind of go over that really quick. So since I don't have the tier 10 Minotaur yet, I have played it. It's actually a blast to play. I'm going to go over the modules just through my Zao. So just keep in mind, it's the Zao, it's not the Minotaur, but just I'm going to change up the modules as you should for, in my opinion, for the Royal Navy line. So the first, main armament mod 1, I think that's just the go-to. Your damage is going to be through your guns, so you want to keep them alive as possible. Pretty simple there. Second one is kind of up to you on playstyle. Aiming system mod 1 is pretty good, but also AA gun mod 2. Now, just to keep in fact, now I'll go over that in just a little bit, that the Royal Navy line does not have the AA ability to actually spread out planes. You don't have that cooldown. But they do have relatively decent AA. So the static AA, giving it a little bit of a boost, is actually not that bad of an idea. You tend to be a prime target for planes because they know you don't have that ability. So any little bit helps. One plane here, one plane there could potentially keep you alive. So just something to think about if you're seeing lots of CVs, that this isn't that bad of an idea. It's all up to playstyle though. This is a bit more cautious, a bit more aggressive. So this one, Gunfire Control System Mod 2, is what I would run, of course, on the Zao. But the thing is, the Royal Navy line tends to have very high arcs. They're kind of almost like USN Destroyer arcs. And if you've ever played USN Destroyers, trying to shoot something from really far away is pretty tough. You have an effective range because of the arc. After that, it's really hard to hit things. Stationary battleships are fantastic to hit. You can do that from a million miles away. But something like a destroyer that's moving quick, other things. The long range is there. This is something that's going to be up to you as well. Gunfire Control System Mod 2 is going to give you that extra range. So if you think you have the ability or are playing lots of ships you think you can still hit from extra range, go for that. But also you could go Main Battery Mod 3 and give them a bit more of a punishment up close. Rapid fire, fast returning turrets, using your smoke and everything. This can be a great asset. So one of these is definitely going to be the way to go. These aren't bad. Like the AA Mod 3 isn't bad. You'd actually be surprised how good the secondaries are. But as you get higher and higher tiers, you want to be pumping out damage, and these are going to be the two that pump out the most damage. So, like I said, all up to your playstyle. You think you can get the extra range, that's not too terrible, but main bat mod 3 is probably the way to go, in my opinion, for the higher tiers, even the tiers that you're going through. This is pretty standard. I'd go propulsion. you are really, really fragile, so you are going to take some hits, and they could potentially hit a citadel, potentially knock out your propulsion. So I'd go propulsion mod 1. This one's pretty simple as well. Steering gears mod 2. I think that's just a go-to. You don't want to get hit by torps, and you want to be able to get away from battleship shells, or any shells, honestly. And then detection, or the concealment system mod 1, just to get yourself low enough to survive. So those are the modules I would kind of roll with. Now, for the actual line, let's kind of go over what you're actually going to be seeing when you play this. Like I said, there is no AA ability. So let me just go out there really quick, switch to my Fiji, and we'll go to ammunition and consumables. So this is what you're going to be looking at. So you're going to be going repair party. Of course, they run premium. You do get heals, which is actually nice, and these heals are crazy. They heal citadel damage. They heal all types of damage. So it's actually really, really nice. Restores, and it's really, really fast. Really, really, really fast. So these heals are freaking dynamite. They're really, really nice. Since you take so much damage, they're actually really, really nice to have. So you get hydroacoustic. That's all you get. You don't get the AA. So that helps you with avoiding torps. It helps you with avoiding, other ships that are creeping around corners, or to keep them lit so you know where to go. This is actually pretty nice. So I do like that. But you don't get the AA. So that's all you get. So of course, run premium. And just looking at it, they're decent. They're nothing like too crazy. I guess they're not quite like the German style. And this one, this is kind of up to you. Smoke, in my opinion, is just the way to go. Now, once you get to the Edinburgh, you can switch out, I think, for the radar. I think you need the smoke for this playstyle. You're going to be smoking up around corners, and you're going to be smoking up and keeping yourself alive. If you can't be seen, you honestly can't be hit too much. Of course, you can blind fire and hit something in smoke, but you need that smoke to keep you alive. The thing about this smoke, though, guys, is just it's active for a very, very short amount of time. So don't go out of your smoke. Be very, very careful. Slow down. I call them like island ramming smoke. Like the only way you know you're not going to drift out of your smoke is you just beat yourself and then smoke and kind of back up at the same time. So that's probably the way to go. So this is kind of what I would run for almost everything. I wouldn't switch out to radar. I think you need the smoke to stay alive. So, captain skills. Now, I will put a link down below. I think it's going to be pretty simple. This is going to be kind of, in my opinion, what you would go with. Basic fire and training is a go-to. You can maybe grab basic survivability, but you're going to be putting fires out and stuff. It's a cruiser, so I think basic fire and training is nice for the extra secondaries, extra AA. Expert marksmanship is pretty freaking good, so that's what I would run with. Superintendent, you want that extra smoke. It's a needed, mandatory. But take vigilance. No, you need that smoke. Keep you alive. Now this one. Almost all of the cruisers, Russian, Japanese, even USN, to be a bit more aggressive demo expert, these ships only have AP, so that's absolutely useless. This is absolutely very mediocre. So I would take AFT. Give yourself secondaries. Give yourself some more AA. Definitely roll that. And then the final, I would roll a concealment captain. I'm almost there. We just need one more point, then we have the 15 points. So this is really nice. Apparently some of them can actually stealth fire, like the Belfast. The premium can stealth fire from pretty crazy distances with a 15-point captain. So pretty nice. That's what I would definitely run with. So the play style of this ship is be very, very cautious, smoke yourself, do a bunch of damage, and then kind of bail, reset, smoke, hide. You're going to be using environment, you're going to be using smoke, you're going to be using other people's smoke, because if you are spotted, you are a prime target because your armor is so minuscule. You have almost no protection armor-wise, so be very, very cautious. Cannot brawl with anything. 203 shells will just tear you up. So you are a glass cannon, but with the AP, you can absolutely punish ships from a distance, up close. They're insane. You can do a ton of freaking damage. Like I said, this line has some growing pains. You get to the tier 6 and you finally figure out how good the line could potentially be. You get to the Fiji, you start having a lot of fun. You get to the Edinburgh, and the line is solid. This is actually a solid line. It wasn't accepted very well at the beginning. People hated them because they're so fragile. But then people kind of got to the higher tiers and people love these ships. Now, this play style is not going to be for everything. You know, if you like having a bit more a front on, strong bow, hit that, blah blah blah. This is not the line for you. This is a very cautious line. This is a very if you have an advantage in certain situations, this is going to be kind of the line for you. Like I said, you're going to be basically sitting in smoke, holding down corners, using islands as your advantage. I love the mid tier map Trident. I love to get as close as I can to kind of the middle rocks right there, and you can really hold down. You can hold, like I said, you have sonar to keep yourself protected from that. You have smoke to keep yourself. You just have good coverage, and you have a high rate of fire. This line is actually pretty solid. It just takes a little while to get used to because it's so unique. Like I said, if you've ever played the Atlanta, if you've ever played the Flint or something like that, it's a very similar to that. High arcs, high rate of fire, really fragile, and you have to use cover. So just something to keep in mind, guys. The potential for this line is really good. It's a great asset to a good division too, because you're really good, especially high tiers with radar, high rate of fire. You're really good at hunting down DDs. This line is very quick. They accelerate very fast. So let's say you're in smoke and you pop hydro and you see a torp coming, you most likely can get out of the way. So they're agile, they're quick, but man, they cannot take a beating and save their lives. Luckily, the majority of them have heals, so it's actually really nice. You can heal up some damage and use the smoke to get away. So upside to this line, the damage output is crazy. Has radar, has smoke, high rate of fire, maneuverability. Downside, lack of armor. Uh, with being only AP, if something is angling at you really like perfect, like a battleship's front on, you're gonna have trouble doing damage to them. Now the higher tiers, you can kind of chunk them down at like 1,000, 2,000 a salvo by just hitting the superstructure, but you don't have the HE ability to the HE shells just to rely on and get that fire damage. So just something to keep in mind. Be a bit more aware. That's why I think the lower tiers are pretty brutal, because everything has kind of armor at that tier, especially like the battleships you go against. And I was bouncing shells against destroyers at that tier, so kind of rough. Like I said, guys, get to the tier 6. It's a brand new line at tier 6 than it was 5 and under. It's quite enjoyable. I got to the Fiji. I thought the Leander was okay. I am having a blast with the Fiji. It's a really fun ship to play, and I'm really enjoying it. Hope you guys are enjoying it. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about the Royal Navy line, what you like, what you dislike. And let me know what line you want me to go over next on the next episode of How to Ship. This is the series where I'm going to go over every line in World of Warships, try to help you guys with captain skills, upgrades, playstyle, all that kind of good stuff. But that is it for me, guys, on this episode of How to Ship. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.